timing, because down the vent, the Frenchman hop. I think fakes and ladders is what I called it the other day.
I played some snakes and ladders the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, digitally?
No, me and my mum in the Weatherspoons.
Oh, wow.
Playing some snakes and ladders while we waited for our dinner.
Beef pie, I assume.
Gave up. Turns out,
Not a fun game.
Not much dopamine in that game.
These guns have been picked up, and they're going to test their luck here. Apex and zywoo posted to seal the deal, and both will get kills in unison there. So we're already looking at 14 rounds, and I think the French maybe individually. Found himself on 20 kills already. He has got 9 kills separating him from the next highest on his team right now. So Rez, great to see.
Yeah, he's actually matched Apex's multi-kill rounds at an 8-round disadvantage.
That's pretty good. Yeah, he's putting up a fight indeed. Is there any fight left for the Swedes here, though? We will be moving on to Overpass. That's Device with some traction.
That's 2 opening deaths for Shocks as well. So advantage Nip, Shadow, Apex, booked.
3 rounds in a row, they've had the number disadvantage now.
Oh, but mousesports has just completely solved the issue. It was a 3v5. And now, if anything, it favors Vitality. mousesports. 2 clicks, 2 heads gone. Rez making no secret of his presence.
They're just ready to swing that door open.
Yeah, on the double flash. They push on in. Nearly a pair, and zywoo does strike. Plopsky's gone. Hampers from ramp, and zywoo's actually ready to take that fight as well. Damn, zywoo, what a recovery from Vitality. mousesports gets an extra firm high five for that one.
Oh, when things are going well, I'd love to have Apex as my El Capitan. He'd be getting me excited. I'd go to war for this man right here.
Wow. I mean, they were doubled up on ramp. You can see they definitely got caught out. Like, the fact Device has got his knife out directly behind his teammate who's desperately trying to take the fight. And then zywoo finishing it with style, just actively taking that fight. They knew he was coming.
I like that timing there, right? Swing the door open. It's a 180 for the CTs, having to worry about both positions. And, well, zywoo profits, and this might very well be the last round of play.
I thought we were about to see a gap closer. And it seems it's Kyojin just wants to close this one out, as does mousesports. NIP with nothing to show here on Nuke. And it's their pick, Chad. Vitality just one of those teams at the moment where if they're you catch them on a good day. We've cast that Mirage game in particular up against Complexity in the groups, where it just felt like they didn't even get a chance to play the game.
Yeah, if this Vitality goes deep in the major and like Kyojin comes online and mousesports is able to have this star form, and the recruiting over there, Xtaz and the entire Vitality camp, right, they need to get so much credit, because the roster changes they've had, the names that they've brought in, and being able to time this, right? Everybody questioned whether taking Apex out of the roster was the right decision. Well, it's looking pretty good right now. Hampus, he gets a kill, but they know exactly where he is. The Molly's going to burn his toes. He has to fight, dies in the flames, and it's a 2v3 situation with a Famas and a Deagle.
Ooh, Device, look how aggressive he is being, and profits. mousesports to hunt so close to another there, and LNZ deleted. Wow, only 21 rounds required. And NIP hang their heads as they lose their map and lose it swiftly. We'll be breaking that one down. I can't believe it's already over. We'll take a quick one. Be back with the analyst desk, back with Overpass to see if this can be an open and shut case.
I try to tell them at least. I really admire that. It's something that has inspired me a lot, being in my time of my career, to actually see that.
Zywoo, your performances early on when you joined NIP, right? It obviously, the language situation. I know that you've been in Sweden and speaking Swedish, but still there was a period where your performances weren't at the level they have been in your last slew of games, right? It's the device that we love in the last slew of games. So what's changed for you to now be performing at that level? Is it being back on LAN a big part of that?
Honestly, there's just been a lot of noise in my life and everything. So I haven't really been having my head straight and been trying to do too much Counter-Strike sometimes. It filled up my whole life, and I think that I need to have people to engage with that is not only for CS and stuff like that, right? So that was one of the things that changed a lot for me. But as you touched upon, I think that maybe I was maybe a little bit too much of a people pleaser also in the beginning, not taking my space and demanding my, what do you say, positions, not positions, but freedom on the map. I was not good enough at using that, and I think that I'm growing into that and getting to know everyone. It's becoming a little bit easier. I think that still for me, it's still the first time I've ever changed a team, right? And I like not to be the guy that causes too many problems. And I think the dynamic gameplay that I try to bring, and I've been doing that the last 2 tournaments, is what I love to do, and it's working out, right? So.
Well, Vitality skate on through that of the Ninjas of Pyjamas in the first map of this series. Nuke locked in 16-4. This series being a semifinal. That's not where the Ninjas in Pyjamas wanted to find themselves. But of course, skating, well, we couldn't do that without YNK and Tony Hawk's friend Dinko.
Yeah, Tony Hawk, man. But when you look at this matchup, and this was a skate to victory very quickly coming in for Vitality. Strong start, just picking up so many rounds in a row on that CT side. Device, a player we talked about, need to show up. He's been so good in this competition so far with 0-7. You know, a very, very quiet start on that T side. They just struggled to get into the site, put the bomb down. And it was just great, simple setups, good, effective team will play out of Vitality. And when you have a game like this, there's nothing special to it. It's just Vitality looked far more individually speaking better, and also just the team play was perfect.
Yeah, they just did a great job early on in the half at getting information outside. Even if it was a 1v1 trade with Zywoo getting a kill and then dying, he could still see more players. That allows the rest of Vitality to react, and they were just shutting down NIP early on. After that, NIP wins a couple of rounds based off of just some good entry kills, really. But I think that Apex sees that 1v3 clutch that really sealed the deal for Vitality in that first half. 26 frags for him, 121 ADR. The guy was here, Dinko.
Yeah, Apex is playing so well. He's also so hype-focused in the game. And the thing we always talk about with Counter-Strike, there was very limited leadership figures. And I think Apex is someone that just commands respect inside of his team. You could just see with his comms how vocal he is. He just commands the respect of his players, and now he's stepping up on the board as well.
Yeah, and there's probably something to say about the mentality there on Vitality. Funny how that worked out. Let's hear about it.
Come on in, guys. Let's do it. Let's go. Okay. So, boring general questions first. I saw, because I was casting that game, we had you, singing along, doing dances, the Macarena, yeah. My question is, was that deliberate, right? You were trying to just keep the energy high, keep everyone just playing their own game. What was the reason you guys were just having a lot of fun?
Just trying to chill, I mean.
Stay normal, stay relaxed. For us, of course, it's funny, but for everyone, when you are playing a stressful match or whatever, it can help during a game. It's not because it's an important match on an important day that you're gonna be someone else. So we dance.
This
feeling, definitely, I missed it. And it's fucking stressful, but it's fucking good, bro.
Le Jabi, le David, le Morgan.
We qualified for the major. We are through the playoff. So that was what we wanted to. So the first step is done. The second is
Legend.
yes.
You do love to see a happy Apex. I think a happy Apex is a happy Vitality, happy screams across the room and there in the studio. This team, they're feeling good, Yenko.
Yeah, absolutely. When they're playing well, right, you're feeling good and just trying to relieve some of the stress, really, and not think about it too much. You know, different teams, different players have different mechanisms. For them, it's a little bit of dancing involved. But, yeah, it's just solid. Everything Vitality is doing right now seems to be going their way.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no denying that, especially given the results of the first map. 16-5 just begs and screams for NiP to show up in the series, Dinko.
Yeah, it's getting a little rough, and I think with that first showing, I was expecting a better showing out of NIP on map 1. I think coming into Overpass, we're going to see much more of that aggression on CT side, I think, coming out of Vitality, which will be very exciting to see. Zywoo was playing well, but I want to see if everybody can step up over for the NIP side. It's not just one player needs to deliver. Rez is the only player doing anything. We need Device, we need Hampus. They weren't getting away with the usual things they were doing.
Yeah, the Air Force aim high head-to-head will give us just that. Now, if we can get Apex doing that again on Overpass, they're in big trouble.
Well, the reason why Apex was able to do this as well is he is now playing that yard position that we've said. That's the star player position, really. And Apex doesn't get, too many of these star roles. There's just other players who take up that sort of space. But it seems like Vitality in some of the switching around that they've decided that, maybe he's best utilized. Maybe they felt, I think it was Misuta who was playing it recently, or Shox, I can't quite recall. But Apex probably a little bit more dynamic in that position, maybe even a little bit more aggressive at time. Maybe Vitality felt that was what they were missing on their CT side. So this game, it worked out great, but we'll see moving forward if we can see more of these performances from Apex.
Really quickly, Dinko, pending the outcome of this next map, we could have our first grand finalist in Vitality. What are the odds of that going down like that?
I think it's pretty likely. I think coming into this event, we said Vitality should be heading to the grand final. I think that the team, a lot of us have predicted to win this event. I think if you look at the other side of the bracket, Vitality should beat whoever's on the other side of it. And with that performance out of NIP, I thought it was going to be a much more difficult battle. But that first map has inspired me with a lot of confidence in Vitality.
I think this has shown us as well. NIP very good on Nuke, but never really picked it themselves, right?
Exactly.
And I think this is why I think they have a lot of faith in their CT side, but just starting off as T, maybe not as deep of a playbook as they would like, or as on some of the other maps. And now they're, in a very difficult situation coming into Overpass.
Yeah, and situations being that they lost it pretty handily there on Nuke. They're going to get a shot at redemption from the Ninja side over on Overpass. However, it does get a little tricky. It's Vitality's pick, and they're up in this series 1-0. This semifinal's looking good for the French side, and we're going to find out more when we come back.
Choose nades, choose a smoke, choose a flashbang. Choose team badges to support your favourite CSGO team. Choose an ESEA Premium membership. Choose routes you know bring in wins. Choose pro video tips. Choose the fan club wars. Choose behind the scenes content. Choose good grades. Choose guns you know you can shoot right. Choose bingo. Choose the equipment you know is going to get your team the win thanks to heat maps. Choose the CSGO Hub Premium. The complete package to help you and your squad achieve all your CSGO goals.
5 years, the Lanxess Arena of Cologne has been the about competitive Counter-Strike. The favourites coming in the tournament have just unlocked the internal and another pushing
So what was it like from your perspective as being a new in-game leader, bringing in a new face. What were the biggest things that you took away from that experience?
I think for him, the hardest was he's a pretty shy person. So what we wanted from him is to say what he was feeling, what was bad for him in the game. As you might know, I'm not really cool all the time, and it's true, I know it. But when if it tells me that it's too much, I will just tell him, yeah, I'm sorry, etc. So it could be a better relationship between together. And that's what we lacked, I think, at the beginning. You cannot bring a rookie and teach him everything. Like, he needs to get a role, a specific role, and you need to teach all the things regarding that, but nothing else. Because if you try to go on overall thing, like all the experienced player like Shox and me, no, it's really hard, it's too much. He has his role, he's doing it perfectly now, and now he's getting like better because his brain is ready to go on all through all the things. And I think that's the best process we found with Kevin, and that's what we're doing also with now with Jason. But they're both really shy, so it was the same process also with that sense that none of them was talking. Like, he never complains. You need to say what you're feeling, what's wrong, etc. And since that, it's getting better.
So for you, Masuta, right, when you came into the team, and you got Apex there and zywoo there and all these big names, right? Were you intimidated at all?
I mean, maybe the first days. Yeah, maybe the first day I was like I always wanted to be here, and I'm here now. So it was, but then I just tell myself, like, I have to do my job now.
Okay, well now, right, if we look at you now, I remember there was like an Astralis game last year on Dust 2 at some point. That's when, like, I went, oh shit.
DreamHack Open Fall.
That could have been the one. Do you feel that there was like a turning point for you inside?
And most of the time, no, I say what I want. So, and Apex sometimes say me, no, we can't do that now. But sometimes he said, okay, do it. Maybe it's not the good thing, maybe it's not the chance to do it. But at least I have the confidence of my captain, and everything is good when the captain is following you.
Nice, got the faith.
I'm playing with Kevin in duo on certain maps, and I feel now I really understood how to use him. Like like for example on Inferno, I think in City Side is really, really good. And I felt like we tried before having this duo on B bomb side, and it didn't work at all. And now with more confidence, with more understanding of each other, mainly me towards him, yeah, it's way better. I think this B bomb side is like locked, so it's nice.
Semi-finals continue, heading into the pick of the Ninjas, and it was a quick one. Open and shut, no issues for Vitality, and a big part of that being Apex. Tedesca's covered that and set the scene so we can get ready to see if we get a competitive second map. I say we, my name's Machine, his name is Chad Sponge Birchall, Chadney for short. How you doing?
I'm all right, We're settling into the day, and yeah, this is an interesting one here going into Overpass. Now, Alex, this is what I wanted to show you here.
What were you trying to show me?
I get on time, but I was just trying to remember. Back in 2018 and 2019, there was an event run. It was like an academy. Well, it wasn't an academy-style event. It was a chance to give individuals from
a show match.
Yeah, and you'd have captains from different regions, and those captains they would pick players. Right, there'd be tryouts, and it was called Join the Republic, and it was something that I participated in. I was actually a captain one year, and another year I did some commentary with Henry. But there was a matchup that took place. This was back on the 5th of January in 2019. The captain of the Polish side was Isaac. Now, you know Isaac, he does some streaming, he plays with Pat team, was Hades, who is now in ENCE, going up against the French team, who was captained by Hunyanye, who is Jeff. He is I'm
impressed you went for that.
Well, he lives in Malta with us. He's just up the road, but he was the French captain, and he in his team had Masuta. And those two teams back in 2019 went toe-to-toe. Masuta on this French team that had been pulled, like, just these young names, right? These kids who, one of them get picked in these teams, and going up versus Masuta back in the day. Now, Alex, if Vitality win today and ENCE win today, Hades and Masuta will play each other in a match.
Yeah.
The Tier 1 teams. Both qualified for the major.
Both have qualified for the major. The real question I have is, Masuta had 29 frags, but Hunyanye had 28.
Yeah.
Where's his major spot?
Oh, you know, Jeff, he just likes to make YouTube videos about how he can get to Global Elite with only a deagle.
He does do that.
That's the type of content he's after. He's not worried about any of this stressful professional stuff.
Whenever I've played games with him, it's always, he's one of those players just so frustratingly, like, just talented. He keeps doing silly things and looking like he's not trying and wins.
There's a couple of them out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Natty gamers, we like to call them. But as you can see, guys, we just need to get underway. And, well, the first map, you know, I had to take the dog for a walk. I was doing some dishes. Well, you probably missed map number 1. If you're an NIP fan, maybe a good thing. They got blown out of the server. It wasn't even close. Whereas the French, they've shown up in buckets and spades here. Apex looking bloody too far away from kicking off here for map number 2. If you do want to hang around and join us for the second series of the day on the main stream, that's going to be Astralis taking on ENCE. Snappy versus the dastardly Danes of Astralis. But here we go.
I love me some overpass, Chad. Absolutely fiending for it. And we do have the side start, CT side start for the Swedes. Now, we watched NIP and their overpass with an incredible comeback, actually. We got to see Rez start slow and end up managing to claw back a huge one. Was it against Fiend?
Skade.
Skade.
That was Dennis Law, Rainwaker, some of those names.
Oh, Rainwaker had a huge one, yeah, I remember. But NIP crushed their hopes and dreams.
Yeah, they did.
And so, let's see how Vitality fare. Starting on the T side, we've got 4 Kevlar vest shocks with the full belt of nades.
Happens with a full lot of utility. Information. They're not utility.
Trying to make it look like an all-in B. Masuta short challenging, shocks his nades over the house, and well, still some pressure. zywoo draws first blood. And Masuta quick onto Plopsky as well.
In for the Rambo sequel.
Yeah, and here they are back with a vengeance. NIP putting some in the feed, but it's insufficient. Device doesn't even get to pull the trigger, barely gets his gun out. And that is spectacular. No better start for Vitality, faking out NIP and just hitting every single shot they take.
Yeah, well, they're picking up where they left off, right? The individual's looking sharp.
I just saw a little bit of all of us there. As you know, you've had a bad first map. You've lost the pistol in the second. That's when you start adjusting the mouse pad. You know, actually, the chair's actually a bit. Oh, just need to get the height right.
You and I got to do this little look-ins with the players, right? You did zywoo. I actually was with Device. Now, we didn't get to go too deep, but I'm always was interested with their positions. He's like, yeah, my stuff's not too particular. You know, just whack it down. Just throw it down. Twist was a little bit more particular out of the mob, but yeah, there's the adjustment and Device onto the headshot. So the Scout Master of Apex has been destroyed here. Now, Hampus is going to go for what looks like the jumping MP9. Now, the jumping accuracy on this is very good, everybody. So what he will wait and do is listen for them to get up close, and he can jump and spam away with that. Another scout tag. Device looking good here with a lot of damage. Rez on the push as well. It's going to lock the door behind the French. Big problems now.
Looks like Device is set for some more. Especially if the low HP of Masuta is the first in, which with the Mac 10 is implied.
Timing.
Rez. Oh no, zywoo actually checks. And so the trigger discipline does haunt him.
That's crazy that Vitality didn't stick to their guns, right? It looked like they were poised and prepared to go towards A, but they've managed to get the troops back towards this B site. Hampus on the second flank.
Yeah, but they may not expect that there's still 2 parked in the toilets after being spotted returning to spawn, especially if contact's found towards Monster. Bullets, steps, anything heard. Hampus will start to rotate in.
Timing.
Oh, he heard it. Oh, he's behind them both. Masuta doesn't even turn around, doesn't even address it. And now Linus catching another from behind. It's all onto zywoo. Oh, and he's ready for war. Tags by the Scout. Oh, executes Device. Yet to die, 10 HP. Hampus quick to this, loud about it. And zywoo looking for the ace clutch. Surely not, surely not. Takes a pot shot, does have a flash to play with. And on the reposition, dancing around the util. Hampus looking the wrong way. zywoo could go round the world. It's not a heaven plant. In the smoke. Looking to strike. Oh, so close. Yet so far, Hampus for the defuse. Just enough time on that clock. zywoo, such a threat.
Cheeky as well. Going for the one tap on that shorter grass up sandbag. Absolutely destroyed Device up towards heaven, and we'll get that defuse in time.
Dude, I saw niko in the elevator the other day, just last night. And I was like, oh, those one taps were looking spicy, mate. And all he had to say was, yeah, well, a couple of years ago, I'd have got some more.
Come on, mate.
I know. A couple of years ago, I'd have got all 5. A couple of years ago, I'd have got all 5.
Come on, mate. Dearie me. All right, well, some resistance out of NIP here. I wouldn't be too frustrated with that one, all things considered. They can get the force buy back. The plant is a consolation, all things considered. 2 AKs, a scout again of their own, and some pistols upgraded in as Device thrust forward up towards the party position, peering over a smoke that they've lobbed on down, chiming in with Hampus, and there he is, Device. Pepper's ahead.
Good for the scalp.
It is.
Oof. And that's zywoo. Handed his first or rather second death. Masuta, however, he's good for both. Both of those trades, every contact NIP find, there's a quick Masuta trade found. Now, here comes Shox looking for action. Is he holding anything actively? Yeah, he did catch a little leg. Oh, and Linus, he's been spotted, could be in jeopardy here and ready for all those duels. He's brought Shox low.
House of Cards is tumbling now.
Certainly. I mean, a distinct advantage for the Ninjas in some capacity, and that's that Rez is not only equipped with the AK-47, he is also full health.
The time is the biggest issue right now, and not for Vitality, more for the Swedes, because Vitality can work around the map as a group. They can hit a bomb site together. They don't have any utility, but considering how good Masuta's trades have been, I feel like as soon as they note the position of Plopsky and Rez, that he might be good for an AK kill or two. So Rez with the AK towards A, that's at least something to work with.
Oh, spots him out. He's juking it out with Masuta. Damage exchange, well-managed angles. He can fall out. And the site
bomb's loose.
Will not be
there might not be any air time. They have to run back and get it.
I'm not sure Shox has even got this speed on that. Yeah, and especially because the site is now lost. Shox is going to give it his all. Yeah, he's got just... Fake. Not interested in getting that bomb down, and some extra cash for the squad. Expecting him perhaps to have 2 men running him down, but there you have it.
That's a little bit frustrating as well, right? Because Masuta was the one with the most HP for the team, and this was some great trading from him. Shox did well here onto LNZ as well, but this was the kill from Rez, right? It looks scrappy, but he converted regardless, and the difference maker was that. Easy as you like. Mopped on up.
Oh. That was not helpful.
What are we looking for?
Synonyms for trade. I don't think we can say gets the commerce.
Gets the commerce. 1 for 1.
Gets the barter. Gets the truck. What are we talking about now? Google's really let me down.
Well, maybe the things that we can actually trade. Player for player. We're going to have to brainstorm a few things.
Yeah, get your suggestions in, because there is nothing quite as of an articulate summary of exactly what's gone down than the word trade. Ooh, Rez, lovely, just to make sure nothing spirals here.
Yeah, I was looking today, I was having a little bit of a read while I was in the lobby, because I can only say save so many times. So there's a couple I was jotting down. Preserve, retain, carry across, hold on to, protect.
Why are you burning through your whole arsenal now?
Well, I'm just letting everybody know this is what they can expect.
Yeah, protect.
Last one's a bit of a reach, but I put bottle up. Now, I don't know how we're going to use that yet.
Have to hear it.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to use it yet, but it's written down.
Okay.
So I took some notes today. The AKs are out now, and let's
trade
see.
And equalize.
Equalize, that works.
One.
Yep. Extinguish. Nade. No damage.
Look how active he's ready to take this fight. Device overcommits there, and Kyojin will catch him just through that smoke. And it's interesting that Vitality seem to want to return to B after drawing blood. I guess they suspect that will force a rotate, and they're absolutely bang on the money. They leave zywoo up to his own devices to try and sell this. His presence alone can be threatening, and LNZ looking for info in his own. Massive jump. What a snap out of zywoo. He falls, but it's again LNZ kicking up a fuss on the monster pipe. Plopsky in support, and they fall. What a recovery from the Ninjas, and they've got LNZ to thank. Do you remember the last time we were talking about that skate game? LNZ was a big reason they clawed that back on the CT side.
He was massive, right? He had that impact on that force by round where he had multiple deagle kills and even a knife kill, I think, to get them across the line in that. But in the first map, one of the things that we noted was Vitality may have lost the opening duel or two, but then they were able to bounce back in with multiple exchanges. And this time round, well, they get the opening kills, 2 of which, and then they lose. They fall a little bit flat into the trap. Getting a little bit stuck on in now as the scoreline does read 4-1. The pistol's out again, and they'd be loving to get the bomb down a little bit more. It was just that zywoo scenario where it looked somewhat threatening. Nade whistles by the ear of Shocks. Only light damage done to him. zywoo elsewhere has comped a bit himself down to 66, but this is just a slower crawl, and Apex hitting a banger. Yeah. It's only his first kill, but you missed map number 1. He was on a heater.
Yeah, they might build on that. There is a timing window where they can take space towards Optimus, and yeah, the incendiary lands. It's enough of an indicator that they'll have to slow their roll. Yeah, zywoo could be equipped with that and has been. He's already done well, considering the rounds Vitality have posted. And there goes the bomb. Oh, Masuta strafing right in. A bit of a mismanaged spray from Rez, and he's doing everything he can to try and escape unscathed. Masuta's dig is there, but zywoo should clear this. Nice find. Okay, maybe there's still a threat to be found. Some players would have scarpered straight to spawn, throwing the AWP out of the map. He's not doing any of that.
Look like he was considering it there for a second. If he runs all the way back towards B, he might beat them on the timing because they have to go down connector, open the door, and then look on through that pipe towards that B side of things if they wanted to stop him.
But they haven't cleared long, so he's going to have a real nice window where he can just walk into that site and plant. It's a question of when they get the read. Linus is just cleared now. Plopsky confirms he's not on site, so there's that window has closed. And sometimes you have to close a door to open a window.
Let that breeze on in. The bomb is going to get planted here, and zywoo, they know where you are now. Running on over, both coming in through spawn. The AWP is the weapon for the job. He is low on HP. He can win this 1-on-3.
Second time's the charm, perhaps, Chad. Got close in the previous, down to a 10 HP 1-on-1. zywoo, he warms up with officials, and now definitely starting to heat up in the clutch. Ready for first engagement. He's looking to engage. Strikes. Linus down. Time ticking. Klopsky has a kit and pros don't fake. He's called it. That's twice the bomb. Best zywoo. It was the only real way to isolate that duel. Klopsky just calls his bluff.
Sitting the defuse against zywoo of all people. You gotta have some balls to do that, don't you? Well, maybe thinking he's gonna get a little bit tricky in it, and they will call a timeout here. Now that AWP retained. Not too shabby. Plenty of cash to splash now because the loss bonus maxed on out, so we will be seeing everything Xtaz wants and more here as he gives the marching orders from that backline, pacing left and right. 30 seconds will transpire, and let's see if the game plan changes here. You can see a couple of smoke grenades being left in spawn. Now, one of the reasons for that, maybe you're not too familiar with Overpass. You can actually smoke from the spawn position towards Monster, give your B players a bit of a buffer, help them on out, make sure they don't get run on down. And if you leave a couple in that spawn position, your A defenders can keep it smoked for you while you can keep your guns out. You know, you don't have to worry about doing it yourself.
You know, I can't believe we didn't say it, or maybe you did when someone was asking us during that Phil segment for Overpass nade tips. The Monster one.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it. Yeah, that's one of the most important.
Yeah, okay, good, yeah. So this super important, and this is going to be a boosted zywoo.
I don't think anyone's coming through heaven here. Maybe they get them on the sandbag jump up, but train's coming. Tickets being punched and away we go. So that one you can't keep up forever. Just having a look for the first 15 or so seconds of the round now. And because of that, this default gets a little bit slower, right? There could be CT aggression. They didn't have any presence across the map to deal with this. To make sure that they're very diligent about their clears. And Rez, well, he's pushed up long with this silenced M4. It is a cheeky position.
Yeah, and he's good for this. He was prior. Will they treat it differently? A run-boosted AWP is a pretty damn good way to treat it, and he's tracked them. Good shot out of Kyojin. Hampers has to pull the plug on that defense, tucking in. Device on the rotate, as is LNZ. Wow, that's a heavy rotation, and Plopsky aggressive, so he will have info early. If he loses his life, which he has, so much space, and now those CTs, they might just gamble. It could be the right call. Info spotted Hampus' aggression. I don't know if he caught a glimpse, but Kyojin did, and they swing out as a unit. Hot pursuit of their second round now, Chad, and running out of players. Device aggressing in the toilets.
Head-on collision still. NIP, they know this is coming right now. They have everybody left to defend here, and they even have a lot of utility. So the fact that they're still coming, this can fall apart for Vitality. Oh, maybe not anymore. It's just one man. The youngster, 20 seconds, a full belt of utility. How much can he do here?
If he could somehow delay. And that will at least buy some time. zywoo's quick to draw. And Vitality post their second here on the T side. It's early doors, voicing their concerns quickly, but NIP a string of 5 consecutive rounds now. A return from the French.
You have to consider as well how close some of these rounds have been. Obviously, we had the almost zywoo clutches. It's a round as well where only 2 players from NIP did survive. So even though the Swedes are doing well, they have 5 rounds, they don't have a whole lot of money here, and that is going to be immediately reflected into the buy. Oh, was a little bit of a technical timeout, but should be sorted in a moment. Don't you worry, this one looks like a quick one. Deagles for LNZ, one for Hampus. Plopsky into a FAMAS device, gets his big green gun. And the have funs have been typed in chat once more. Rez also into a Deagle here, and you've seen him hit some scorches already. So this is not the easiest round for Vitality to get through, right? So some of the things, if you come into the AWP first and you didn't note there were pistols, maybe you get like a little bit ahead of yourself in other clears, and then you run into the Deagles, and you weren't expecting that. You were thinking it was going to be rifles. So they need to still be careful about this. Could solve the puzzle here with a quick B. Device is AWP. Posted up short.
Oh, and burnt into a tighter line. Doesn't stop. Apex strikes into the biggest gun in the server. There's more on the site, and those Deags are threatening. Oh, it could have been saved by Kyojin. NIP was so close to really locking this one down. First, Masuta bailing him out. Now it's Kyojin that steps up and delivers. Rez from Graffiti, the timing on the flash is fine. Completely swallows that, buying some time. Campus caught out on the walkout.
So much impact from
what a round.
there.
What a round.
4 for him.
Doubles his score, Chad.
That's massive, right?
Impactful one.
What it does right there is just shatter the economy of NIP right here. So Kyojin, when that did get dicey, right? The 2 that he gets initially, that's everything, right? The round didn't look winnable after that point, but still, for him to continue with more impact, you're going to see them here. Getting that transfer across. Low HP on this, so good from the youngster. Well, he's not even the youngest member in the team, but he is the youngest in terms of experience here. Will just be the USPs now, and Vitality, unless they make a massive mistake here, should be 1 round the difference. IP will retain this lead, but when they get the guns back out in the next, they will only be having that 2400. So we'll keep our eyes on what type of buy they're going for as they all push long.
Keep your eyes on Kyojin, because he could go from 4 frags coming into the previous round to a boatload more. His responsibility was to hold this fountain and long aggression, so he will have a look. He's going to spot a whole lot.
He's seen enough, I think. Info darting back to Apex, the leader. Wanting to help on out here, they just have to stop this push. So the Molly will slow them down for another 7 seconds, able to now watch onto the flanks here, and the USPs for Exit. Here he is, the big man, the boss man.
Yeah, he's got out his abacus and he said, I'm going to go hunting. There's 600. Let's get the 6 times table rolling. Ooh, well.
That's it. That's all he gets.
And that'll do nicely.
Easy maths on that one right there. So yeah, 1 round the difference now. And Device, he could get dropped an AWP, but that means that Linus would not have had anything. So it is going to be M4s to the good for 4. Plopsky to a FAMAS, and Apex is going to retain that MAC 10. But now, you consider the fact that it's been 3 rounds on the trot, and Vitality were keeping those rounds close. They have a lot of money left over. A lot of residual cash. zywoo, remember the saved AWP? Well, right now he has 13k to his name. 10 for Masuta as well. So Vitality looking very good, and they're going to mantle on up and get the 4-man totem boost running one more time. zywoo not sticking the landing right there. The judges not too happy with that gymnastics performance. Won't be joining the French Olympic team in, what will it be? 2024?
Yeah. I don't think I watched a single...
Me either.
Single round of the Olympics.
Sports isn't for me.
No. On your head. Oh, Plopsky dead. In the meantime, though, Vitality with 2 casualties. It's Rez that's completely silenced the playground aggression.
No fun to be had.
No fun allowed. Rez cancels playtime.
No hat, no play. That's what we used to have back in the day.
Interesting that he stuck around. Like, they might assume that he's relocated. Is his next
I think
victim?
he did assume exactly that.
He did, and nearly another. Should be round defining, though, from Rez. You'd need something miraculous out of Shox and Kyojin. A limp for Kyojin as well at 46. And LNZ's getting a bit flirtatious with this aggression. You'll hear them.
So just on the jiggle, though, it's actually quite passive. And, oh, he's run away. So maybe he didn't get this info. Footsteps now. He's heard all that. Rotations here. They should be locked out. Barrels is the first to clear.
Yeah, it would have to be a stunning headshot. And he's found one of his own. Flank is very quick. Shox, he's smart, but he won't be ready for all of this. He's already got his attention drawn to short. Does manage to put himself at least a bit of distance between that monster fight. Back turned. LNZ defends. Rez, though, again, steps up for the Ninjas when they need him most. They post one in the first we've seen from the Swedes in 4. You can see how he takes them both down. zywoo doesn't even get to pull the trigger.
Yeah, Apex just noisy about that, right? They did trade him, but at that point it was too far down that rabbit hole. You know, Kyojin, his name reminds me those creatures in Godzilla. I think they're like the big monsters, kaijus or something like that. Bionicles. I think that's a Lego product, actually.
Oh, I thought, okay. I think I had the Bionicle.
The Bionicles
game
in Godzilla.
I had the game.
What a crossover that would be.
Yeah.
I think that's called Pacific Rim, actually.
Oh yeah, actually that exists.
Bionicles meets Godzilla.
I remember we tried to watch that in our basement.
It was miserable.
Just didn't engage focus.
Do enjoy big robots though. I'm a robot fan.
Yeah, Transformers. Megan Fox, Sheila Buff.
No, that one doesn't for whatever reason. I think it's because the robot's talking now. I like it when the humans are controlling the robots.
I wonder what that says about you.
I don't know. Someone let me know. Extinguish, stampeding, device. Knows that there could be a lot on the other side here, and we'll have to start to dance on backwards. That S key being pressed as he will make his way into the bathrooms. Has Rez to connect the dots from connector. There's a monster smoke for everybody at home. And I know that Shox on this default likes to play over towards that water position, and Rez, he was just clearing over there. That is so quick.
Yeah, he's done well to find something out of that.
Well, now it's Device's turn.
They're catching some great timings. zywoo's not looking. And shot in the spine. The trade is absent. He can get out of there. They're ahead of it. Oh, and Device will take nearly 3. Kyojin just wins the war of attrition, at least with his bullets. He had enough. Device did not.
And this is where it becomes a problem again here, right? It's 2 players alive against the 3. Even if they walk into a bomb site, they would have to get that opening kill. Hampus has just combed on through the bathrooms here and called this almost completely clear. The bomb, well, it's disappeared. They might have a good idea that they are heading back towards this B bomb site. Roughly 35 seconds remaining on the clock here as the combo of Plopsky and LNZ batten down the hatches. The util comes on over, and Hampus's flank here to make sure there's no way out.
Implying there could still be Barrel's presence. Shock's going to use that smoke. He could actually just hop into it and catch Plopsky in the off angle, but down goes his teammate, down goes the bomb, and the clock keeps ticking. No time for this shot. Crosshair was in the right place, but so is LNZ. This is what NIP were looking for. Starting to pull away now.
I think the fortunate thing for Vitality here is even in lieu of the plants, they still have a lot of that cash I was talking about earlier, and as they lose rounds, their loss bonus also builds, so it's keeping them in this position where they're able to keep themselves just level. Ready for another purchase, but another timeout necessary here. And the last time XTAS called one, they were able to convert off the back of that.
Is that a souvenir knight he's rocking as well? How do I find that out? Who did he drop it to?
We get away. Either it must be in Hampus's hands.
Must be.
That's the only player that has a Silenced M4 equipped into this round here.
Because that's from the Cobble case that had the Dragon Lore in it.
Oh.
So
won't be getting those for a while.
Yeah. I think I had one of them
I wonder, the souvenirs. I completely forgot about those. That's a whole thing as well.
Oh, that will be a
it?
thing.
Yeah, well, that doesn't look like the Knight, does it? That was that M4 you don't really like right there, so...
Oh, I don't know where it's gone.
It's
I probably
a mystery.
left it for an AK, perhaps. Let's get into it, though, because it is a wheelie big round.
A wheelie bin?
Wheelie big.
Oh.
It was an ode to the wheelie big cheese. Very prominent robot in the Robot Wars with Craig Charles.
Oh, indeed. Well, Zywoo was aggressive. Didn't catch it on the jump spot, but he catches those bullets. Hampus, easy as you like. Shoots 5, gets 1, and into B they trundle.
Oh, this is fast. ENCE evades the initial spray. Plopsky surely strikes, and they do. 3 in the feed from the ninjas, and only Kyojin. What's he supposed to do? Die is the answer.
Okay.
Right, with a furrowed brow, wants to see this with a finishing blow. If they were to find the remaining rounds in this half, it's going to be a real uphill struggle for Vitality to dig their teeth into.
Yeah, it's not looking easy here, right? They're getting denied. I think some of the interesting properties that have happened in the last few rounds is not finding any traction on these opening kills. Seems to be a difficult place to be. Rez, 2 rounds in a row, has been able to grab some openings there. So he's a stifling force so far. Take a look at his opening kills. He's 2 for 2, but Device is 3 for 3. So the 2A defenders are, you know, they're doing all right in that department. Hampus chipped on down through the smoke. Needs to be careful how they play behind that. Apex wary of any aggressive maneuvers through there, but needs to be. So with Plopsky, flash through short. Shox aware that somebody could be coming his way any second. They aren't going to push the issue. It was purely just for info. And they likely know that Shox is tucked into this position, right? He defaults over towards this B bomb site on a regular basis. The only way that would not be considered is if Apex is feigning his job right now, just with the spam, the jumps, the util as well, and he's going to scoop up that bomb. And they've given a bit more time in round 13 before they get stuck into the A default. But this is going to be a bit more pressure on the late rounds, right? They will have to make up their minds. Now pivoting again, back towards B. Or back towards Connector. All right.
Some mid-rounding going on here.
Yeah, the thing is, if they do this, it's probably going to be connected to B. It feels unlikely you'd go connected to A. If it was pistols, you see teams do that when they have Tech 9s and stuff, but this feels like it will have to be a B exec from the sewer position. So grouping up with Shox now, everybody turns their attention towards the B bomb site. Hampus is here with Plopsky and LNZ.
These guys have been solid. Can they hold again? Good timing on the incendiary. Look at the flag damage. HE's incendiaries and LNZ. He's been found.
Rumbled.
For the first time. They're into B with consistency. Oh, what? Straight square to the jaw of Zywoo. Completely obscured by the smoke. Doesn't stop Device. Rez and Device, 2 versus 4. Already now 3.
Flash is here to facilitate this if some buts and maybes. Don't worry about that. They're going to protect these rifles. Going to bottle up here. And
I do like big ifs and big buts. Cannot lie. Though what the brothers can deny.
I want to check in with that B stream, actually. Because the yells that you're hearing there are not from the teams on your screen. It's actually from the Movistar Riders representing Spain versus Copenhagen Flames representing Denmark, and they're still in map number 1.
Bloody hell, Virgo's still going.
Yeah, we've checked in with that a couple of times. So the first half scoreline managed to be a 9-6 in favor of the Movistar Riders. Copenhagen Flames did it again, and they're in overtime right now where the Movistar Riders are winning 17-15.
Context on that is winners in, right?
Yeah, the loser will have to play against the loser of the Fiend versus G2 game. So that one's not going to be easy.
They've really given themselves a nice and reliable berth with the dominance in the group stage. And again, Device doesn't need any vision to find impact. Previous round was straight through the smoke. This time it's the double whammy. Flashed smoke, doesn't matter. How good is his clear? Masuta caught out by Rez, this time aggressive in the underpass, and he's done that before. He's pulled it off before as well. Zywoo being pre-aimed. Oh, okay, now he's peeking left eye in, and Zywoo will eliminate the threat. Zywoo with a 2. In quick succession, problems now for NIP, and it started so damn strong.
That was quick.
That was very quick.
Last map had Apex written all over it. This one has zywoo. He's up to 17 kills. Highest fragger in the server right now, and impact galore. Well, this one's been leveled on up, and they can hit the pause button for probably another 20 seconds or longer right now, Vitality, before they have to make up their mind. Hampus loves these jaunts. He likes to get thrust forward on A for info, helps them hedge their bets for where the final finish will be coming on in. And zywoo continuing that project he's been working on towards long now. Orp is a bit of a force here, and the jump peaks maybe rumbled.
Yeah, I mean, how is Plopsy going to get that info safely? Doesn't matter if Hampus confirms it all with just his bullets. He's got shocks, fumbles with his nades, and perhaps the round. LNZ's completely detached from the pack. It is just Plopsky. An MP9, but there's not much time.
They have to clear him out. They have to get the bomb down as well.
Yeah, the smoke might save him.
zywoo, the Guardian.
This spray could have changed everything. He's shy. Just shy of the mark. Kyojin does get it down. They extend play. Hit on Plopsky, but they don't have a smoke to force the hand of the French. Kyojin needed this and does provide it just about. There's the trade, and now a one-on-one.
Needs to get a kit.
Scoops up. And zywoo actively fighting. What a brave boy. Third found for zywoo in the round, but Vitality up to 6. And what looked like an NIP, maybe even 10 CT rounds, is looking more and more likely like Vitality are going to close the gap completely.
It's 5-1 at one point. Got up to 8-4 as the scoreline here. And
great sequence out of zywoo, and looked like maybe NIP had it back in the bag after Hampus.
Yeah, it was zywoo made this possible, right? Kyojin's there to get them in the advantage was huge as well. And here, NIP, after what has seemed like a good first half, down to just a bit of a rough scenario here. There's that knight you were talking about in the hands of Device. Well, the best they've got around that is the famous of Hampus here. A couple of CZ75s and a Deagle. And this one is really difficult to win right now. Pot shots or warning shots, one of the two, neither will combine. Nade deep. 8 points of damage done to Masuta there. And when they've tried to go back towards this B site, they have been stalled out normally coming through utility, right? That has been a bit of a problem for Vitality. If they want to go back towards that B bomb site now, they won't have the same concerns. They really just have Plopsky with nades left over now. Masuta will have called that flash pick combo. Normally when you hear a flash, there's something behind it. Well, here's a perfect example. Flash into upper bathrooms, cleared on out, heavy on the steps, and now working on a bit more information is Kyojin. He's thrust forward on his own. There's nobody with him. If he walks into one of these CZs, he will give up the AK for free.
Or Rez resisting the temptation to advance. Hard clear. Kyojin's crosshair was there, but Rez is quicker, and it could be two. zywoo's in trouble, needs his help. It does arrive. Masuta, the cavalry, now cut down to size. Device needs a pair. And there's another one right there. The Tech-9's not good enough, and Device has done so much for the Ninjas. It's only Apex, the star of the nuke show, but not allowed across. Device denies, and they call it 9-6. It's a distinct advantage for the Ninjas, and this is on Vitality's pick. We'll see how far they can push it, maybe even all the way to 3. We'll be right back with the second half of the second map of our first semi-final.
I think, honestly, he's the guy I've ever played with that has the best work ethic of any player. Very different to other players and gamers in general. Works on his game constantly. Watches his demos right after the game, good or bad game, right? So I try to tell him at least. I really admire that. It's something that has inspired me a lot, being in my time of my career to actually see that. But yeah, I mean, he played an amazing game. I think that when you play these games in best of ones and it's suddenly 9-1 and you feel like you've been playing for 10 minutes and you're like, what happened, right? That's when you know that someone really needs to step up, and I think he did that. And in general, I think that the team never stopped believing that winning the game was impossible. And it's something we had in Astralis as well. Like, it didn't matter if we lost the first half on some of the maps. We knew that our game was just good enough that we would bring it back. And I really had that feeling, even though we lost the pistol round and we were down like really bad. It didn't like, there was never a moment where I thought, oh fuck, we're gonna lose this game. It was more or less than, when are we gonna get the momentum and like win the game.
Competitive half on overpass. Vitality on their T side posting 6. NIP locking it down with 9. Ahead on their opponent's pick. Swapping sides, we'll get to see those Swedes on the attack now and see what Hampus is cooking up.
Dare I say both teams would be happy with that first half?
I'd say so too.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Feels a bit down the middle of the road here. And as we get to see where the difference makers lie, we take a look at the buy of Vitality. It's going to be 5 sets of Kev, not a single bit of utility here. So for them, it's about denying this plant, making sure they're out ahead of the NIP play.
Not a single GL, only HF.
Yeah, that's important, guys. You never want to wish your opponent good luck. Only wish them to have fun.
Have fun while we win.
You're planning to win, but you still want them to have a good time while they lose. And no one has a good time losing, so it's a bit of an oxymoron.
You say GG, but it's not GG. It's BG. Definitely for Rez on the pistol. Does not get to do much with the armored P250.
Zywoo also not really getting to do a whole lot here. So a couple of quick clicks. And we find ourselves with an equal exchange, 4-4 in terms of the players on the board. And in towards B, the snaky Hampus has found some space yet again. It's just heaven. Oh, okay. Well, Shox, you've been absolutely rattled right there, straight to the head. And not a lot of HP to work with here as Masuda wants to look for more. They're in towards the site. Apex getting peppered off as well.
Oh, dude, Device is going to catch a beautiful flank here. It's going to be a little late, but see how this one shapes up initially. Oh, and Bessie 1 on the Glock does get the fresh clip. Masuda with 2 in the feed as well, so a 2-on-2 established. Chip damage, Masuda 3.
Maybe way too late.
Yeah, a little bit too late. They might expect him, and they will. Oh, not far off the mark. Masuda ace.
All 5 for Masuda. All right, then. And the defuse.
That is something. Little nod you can see in celebration. He's done a lot with that USP.
Think about how much cash he gets from that. He did absolutely everything, and Plopsky types HP ... I don't think anybody's going to quite believe that one here. Masuda on all these different fronts, finding all these different fights. Absolute cracker of a round right there. In every game we see of this kid on land, he's starting to prove more and more that he is the second star of this team Vitality. Now it is going to be the force buy for NIP back here. They don't want to give up on this financial scenario here too early.
It's quite threatening, especially if it's quick. 3 MAC-10s. And some very nerdy flashbangs from Device. He wants to pop it. No chance to react from the CTs. We'll see if they get caught out by this. 2 up short, 2 Monster. A re-smoked Monster already. So it's deep enough that you really don't want to be walking through that regardless of the element of surprise. Masuda, far from surprise. His back will be turned to the flash of Device. And they run straight through him. flying into the side. Look how blind they are. Everyone has swallowed that. NIP fight back and come back with a vengeance. What are you supposed to do? The only person that had a chance to rumble. Oh, it looked like he was pulling the trigger before the door even opened.
Yeah, it felt like a pre-fire right there from Device. Okay, well, yeah, they weren't giving up on the finances by any means. They've grabbed this one right back. Huge round right here, and they're even having a look. Zywoo, you want to hold on to this famish? You're going to have to fight for your life.
Yeah, and I think I'd like Rushley to give me that flashbang, if you wouldn't mind. I want to, hey, future pros.
Hey, future pros.
Don't know why he hasn't hit puberty.
If you want to play like NIP, here's a flash that you line up on the left side.
You need two future pros for this one.
Oh, we can hear him! Oh. I didn't know we could hear him.
Oh, what the hell? Was that like a soundboard, or is he real? Is he
I'm
real?
just listening, boys, all right? Whatever you say, I'm listening.
Can the people at home hear you?
They should be able to, yeah, sure.
Or maybe...
Yeah.
Oh, Rush, it's so nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, what's
People
going
at
on,
home
boys?
have been, where's Rush? Oh, okay. Well, this is exciting. So all it took was us taking the mick out of him a little bit for him to have to tune on in. Okay. Have we said anything else, Rush, that's almost made you hit that mic button?
Yesterday there was a few things. I was hovering over the button, but I decided, no, I'll let him have the fun, you know?
Oh, I thought we were...
Not going to promote the fan cams, Rush. Come on, man. It was just on the screen.
Get on the fan
What's
cams,
the URL?
and Alex, the link is...
IEM.GG
/
fan cam.
Nice, Rush.
Thanks, man. Oh, they're coming in again. And the frags thick and fast. There's nothing left for Vitality. And the force buy wars are over. Concluded.
So is this
Finito.
episode 1 or 2?
This is the first. Strikes back. Wait. Why would you be striking back in the first?
Wait, I'm confused.
Well,
is Anakin in the pod racer?
Yes, that is the episode 1.
So is Zywoo. Will he become Darth Vader?
What, spoilers, dude?
If you haven't seen Star Wars...
Yeah, what are you going to say? Go on.
Unlucky.
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 Wow. Yeah, B-site working well for the Ninjas, and they just get every single fight they desired. I mean, Hampus making so much room. And it's just going to be those 5 pistols. So very reminiscent of how it started for Vitality in their first half, but unfortunately this is NIP, domination stations, and rinse repeat. If it ain't broke.
Yeah, look, there's definitely... The force buys are definitely the difference makers, right? If you're Vitality and you get both pistols and you weren't converting either, you're going to be really up that creek without the paddle here, and just more pedal to the metal. They're going to get themselves straight in towards this B bomb site. Going for the uppercut here. Bang! Hampus is already in their face. Cleaned him up. 17 for Hampus now, and this is looking good for the Swedes. Let's go have a quick little look at the scores on the doors here for everybody playing at home. We've got 18 kills for REZ, 17 for Hampus. We've got 14 for LNZ. It's going to be 12 for Plopsky and 13 for Device. On the other side of things, Zywoo, you've seen his impact. We were talking about it on the AWP on the T side. Vitality here. He's up to 19. 14 for Kyojin, who's had a couple of multi-kill moments to keep them in some rounds. 12 for Masood, who had the ace on the pistol, so you know how he was pretty dry on that first half. 6 for Apex and 5 for Shock. So Apex, he's cooled off a bit since map number 1. Now he's on that CT side. Maybe we can see more of his nuke antics here, but it will need to start right now because this is the first rifle round.
You can see Vitality have got an attempt at a response, but it's a different setup. So we're going to be seeing Hampus dropping out potential Molotov towards that close monster position.
Love the BXX, don't they?
Yeah, it's right up their street. Vitality to receive again, just doing the flashbang down to defensive smoke. Maybe buys time for vision, but no bloodshed, at least not from the French. Issues, big issues. Oh, a slight adaptation. But the site is lost, the man to the good for Nip. Shox has had a quiet overpass. See if he can voice some concerns, and does catch Rez in that mini pit. Oh, and Linus not anticipating. Zywoo so far forward, so
Hampus can win this.
Certainly within the realms of possibility. Don't have a kit, so there will be a bit lackadaisical, and 1 down, 1 to go. Hampus in pursuit. Down to 4 HP. Zywoo is the one that has to bring the fight, and Hampus strikes. 1v2 in the bag, 13 as well. Great work from the leader of the Ninjas.
Okay, we're not getting as loud here, the Swedes, compared to the French when they were sailing to 15, but that should be one of the first nows in the coffin here of Overpass. Map number 3 not that far away now, and it's good to see them going back and forth, both teams looking ready for these maps. I think the map pool for both of them was actually pretty handy. You know, you wouldn't have been complaining with what we see coming on through with the Vertigo removal, the Ancient removal, and now even the Smile starting to creep onto the faces here. So really nice stuff. We'll just have to be some pistol upgrades because max loss bonus is in play. You know the drill at this point. And a timeout called has already subsided, so we will be getting underway very quickly here. But that bonus round from NIP, even though they lost 4 players, it doesn't really matter. They're flush for cash, and this was a similar conversation we had at a point in the first half. Yes?
What does Chad Sponge Birchall say in a 30-second timeout about getting run over on B for 5 rounds straight?
We might have to try some aggression elsewhere so we can hedge our bets and gamble stack the B bomb side, or let's get some connector control so that we can stall them out from just being able to run up short and run into the site. Some map territory is something that's on the docket, boys.
Certainly for round 22, 21. Looks to be reaching a very swift conclusion.
This is just like Nuke. So on Nuke, it was Rez who was really, really good for NIP, but the team wasn't getting a lot done. This time round, it is the likes of zywoo, who's really good for Vitality, but the whole team not getting a lot done here. They're being outplayed. Some really clean executes from NIP, and they're just going to continue to clean this one up. Easy and Device, the stars of the show, will get the last 2 kills, and, well, now just 2 more rounds. Fortunately, the AWP can come back into zywoo's hands here now. He might even want to opt for a double. Shox is in the position to do so, and if he's not feeling the rifle in this, maybe, just maybe, with only those 6 kills, the AWP may have been a consideration, but I can spoil this fun for you guys and let you know the M4 has been brought on out. zywoo's AWP could be the difference maker as far as going and finding a kill, but if they continue business over towards this B bomb site, which this lovely camera right now shows.
zywoo's heading that way. How does he plan to deal with a full exec? Like, there's so many nades and players that are going to be thrown his way.
Just has to pick.
Yeah, pillar AWPing, shadow advantage, and down goes Hampus.
Oh, well, they know that Hampus likes to take those liberties here, but Masuda's locked in towards the sandbag. They're not even looking. The transfer from Masuda, it's brilliant.
Get out of there. They'd love a spotless one. If you wanted to start a comeback with 5 players still alive, is a great place to start.
Okay, well, as I mentioned earlier, NIP do have a lot of cash. Popsy been tagged on through, so he's down to 40. This becomes more difficult just to look for that aforementioned damage, but Device with the AWP is going for a look. That's a quick shot onto Apex there. Does cop a dink for his trouble, so 9 HP remains. Another kill or 2, and starting to work this one through. It doesn't seem winnable, but imagine if they're able to remove the AWP from zywoo here and it can't get picked up. That was a prong to kick this round off. Plopsky through the monster tunnel. Multiple targets on the other side of this. Fortunately, the bomb, they don't know exactly where it is right now.
zywoo looking to finish what he started.
He dies here, will be stuck heaven. Yeah, the AWP's going to be stuck heaven. I don't think they're going to be able to pick it up.
Yeah,
not going to get there. And, Device is AWP. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Never mind. When there's an extra AWP on the table, they found that one, and all good in the hood, I do suppose.
No, as I was going to complain, he's like, actually, well, he was using Devices.
Didn't want that skin.
I thought he was going to complain about the skin, yeah, but no, all good. Nice shots. That's a good start. They need a whole lot more.
I think they need 2 more at least, right? Because there's so much surplus of cash right now, maybe even 3, considering the loss bonus will be starting to build right now for NIP. So we'll keep our eyes and ears on that one as back towards B we go again. A little bit less of the forces over towards B, but that is great from Device. He's having a good game right here, right now. 19 kills, and that's the impact, so... What?
Rez, I couldn't believe he's actually hit that. It didn't even look like it was on him. Apex knocked. And there shouldn't be anything more. He actually finishes it off with the pistol. He's chasing Device defensively. Well, that's a kooky one.
And it's done. Okay,
yeah.
One more round now. Similar feelings as what we had going on Nuke. And having a bit of a giggle about that one in the chat right there. So mood's at an all-time high right now, and I can update you again on what's going on over on that B stream. The first map did conclude. The Movistar Riders picked up Vertigo. They decided to pick into that one. The next map's going to be Ancient Vertigo Ancient as the map pool here for the youngsters, and Overpass is the third. So you can check that one at just add a B to the end of the URL for this one here. Or live.intelextreme.masters used to work once upon a time. I think live.intelextrememasters.com. That's the one, not .masters. It's not the PGA Tour or anything. But is this it, Alex? Last round?
I suspect it might be. Wow. Shox, he's at least found one of the 5 required. Counter utility deployed. It's a heavy stack, understandably so, right? From Vitality and off the flash, they profit and extend the advantage they operate with LNZ to try and change things. And Kyojin's jiggly head is not going to be an easy engagement. He does withdraw. Plopsky trying to take space and pip a gap. That's zywoo's responsibility. And
seems like a void, not a gap.
Yeah, gets the info. You can see him through the window.
Oh, Shox has secured this one, hasn't he? LNZ seeming ready. His head was at least facing the right direction, but back and forth they swing like a pendulum. The bomb site they have to go towards now has been confirmed as the B bomb site.
Creeping.
Flank, yeah, it should be it.
Crawling.
Is he a spider?
Well, you said pendulum. Maybe he's a tarantula. Banger. Clean? Or his device got a couple of taps in him. Yeah, Shox will make it 3. Good to see his name in the feed. He has been pretty absent here on our second map of play.
That's only their third round. That's only their third round so far. Remember, they did get that pistol round with the Masuta ace, right? So the fact that NIP, again, I'll mention it in case you missed it, NIP were able to win the force buys and then convert there. They took themselves out of the force buy wars. They set themselves up with a great base. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from both teams. When both teams are having good games, right, on the other squad's map, it's something to get excited about here. It means they're here to play. No AWP here for the CT side of Vitality. The timeout has concluded once more. Still plenty of cash for NIP. Lots of residual for the likes of Rez and LNZ going forward as well. So it doesn't feel like there's going to be too many dramas in the buy department. With only one more round to find. 6 for Vitality here to take us to that overtime. This does feel like it's destined for the Swedes to make this series go the distance here today. What's the difference maker? Extinguish on the molly. Shox found the opening kill in the previous round. Wants to do the same, barreling up and close towards that smoke. Here's Plopsky.
Yeah, and he's just gone straight through it. So like that territory is theirs, and Shox is so quick to evacuate. He's not interested in any early engagements.
Oh, they found a massive timing here. You talked about the gap last time round. Like, if they get a move on, if they just continue forward, the rotation of zywoo, it will be able to set up, but he won't be expecting them this close. No way in the world.
Look how they're quick.
He won't expect them here.
Oh, okay. He's lucky to have at least gotten the info and gotten away. Counter utility will be deployed, and he's got a lot on his plate. The util is great. Apex does deliver something, but NIP have eliminated the threat on the site, and now the bomb going down uncontested. It's going to be a hard one to break back through. A single flash from Kyojin to try and get his teammate through. And here comes Masuta Brave through the smoke. And Linus is having none of it. Only Kyojin up against 2. What was 3?
Device's AWP has surely won it.
Yeah, he has a kit. That's something. But yeah, going to really struggle to isolate. And into the AWP. Oh, lives on. A leg shot from Device. And it's just a tough one. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Oh.
Molly for good measure. Call it 16-9. Kyojin just looking to pad the stats. Rez denies, and we're off to our third. Fist bumps exchange. We'll take a quick break and be back with the analyst desk to break it down and set the scene heading into our third.
Live. Ja, boys. Hej då! Live, boys. Hej. Hej då, Robin. Allez, let's go, les mecs. Allez, go. Allez, go. Let's go. Juste, remplis le kit et volk. Oh, merde. Non! GG. fucking bra.
Lägger raka på hans kropp.
Dommage, dommage. Go. Spring pass.
Nice! Såja! Fett bra.
Fett bra boys. Nice. Nice. Nice Fred boys.
Nice.
Dommage.
Dommage, let's go.
Dommage, let's go.
Fucking nice, Linus. King, mannen.
Fett bra, mannen. Nice. Victory.
Nice, Nico. Bébé, cours, Richard. Ok. Marek. Super propre. Super, les mecs. Voilà. Tu veux la hook? Nice. Dommage.
Ah oui, dommage.
Oui.
The matchup's right here in front of us. The bag is right there. They can go and get it if they'd like, but Nip standing right in the way. Vitality pick up the first map. Nip traded out, get overpass, spinning around like a Tasmanian devil inside the map. And this is the result, 16-9, taking us to that third. Dinko and YNK on the case with me as well. And this is a little more like it from the Nip side, Dinko.
Yeah, massive overperformance. The first couple of rounds, I think they look really solid coming in. They got a great lead coming into this. And I think it's a big part of what you were saying before, Yanka, the fact that they started on the T side. Sometimes they could be a little slow to start there on the first map and never really got their individuals into it. But coming into Overpass, a strong start helped them out. I think we got to see Hampus, some of his classic playstyle working out. And Rez in particular is a player that we've been talking about throughout this tournament, has looked very solid. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that on the first map to the same extent because the rest of his supporting cast weren't there, but Rez was looking very impactful. Even on the T side, when we switched over to the second half, he was finding a lot of important kills in towards water. We always talk about how water on the T side, just controlling that is so important. I think NIP just dominated some map control in this.
And that one tap on Apex.
Yeah, that was
pretty sick.
Pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That didn't hurt. I think obviously for NIP in this game, just despite losing both pistols, getting the reset right back afterwards, I think that was definitely the deciding factor for me. That just gives you, it's actually way worse to lose the second round after winning pistol. Doesn't matter which side you're on, than just straight up losing pistol and losing the second round. Just your economy takes a hit. Something that I'm surprised that Vitality doesn't do. We used to do it on FaZe, like when we get reset and get 1400 just bonus, you know, you leave like 400 or 500 on your players. You don't buy for all the money. So when the gun round comes in, you have all your nades, right? Because if you buy all the way and you don't win that force, then come the first gun round, you have like 4.5k, and on a map like Overpass, that's not going to be enough for your CT side. You want to have all the smokes, you want to have the deep mollies for mid. There's a whole dynamic going on there at the beginning of the round, so Vitality couldn't win the force buy back, and that just puts you in a hole very early on.
But here we are again with Vitality, saying almost identically what we say almost every time the man plays. His name's zywoo. He's putting up impressive numbers. He's got something to show. He's shown up to play here in a big way for the side of Vitality. Not enough to be the saving grace on Overpass, but certainly notable.
Yeah, you never really see a zywoo drop off, and I thought that clutch is about to happen, right? That little one tap he tries to go for on short. I think, you know, a little bit of flash, a little bit of ego maybe for zywoo. It's just a little glimpse of it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for him, but so damn close to having one of the best highlight plays you've seen in this competition. Just couldn't quite pull it off, and it is just a frag movie when you watch zywoo play one map of Counter-Strike. He just finds so much impact in the AWP, and someone that had much more impact than he did over on Nuke was Device coming into this. I think he had a decent middle of the pack performance coming into this, and I definitely want to see that upwards trend continue because, well, no one was showing up for NIP in that first map. We talk about how important Device is to have a superstar for NIPs. What makes the difference to the side is what makes it a possibility to even think about them beating Vitality, and Device has to show up in this game.
Yeah, and those stats you saw there in our Air Force Aim High head-to-head were encompassing the entire series. What I want to look at here, rather, I guess, discuss with you, Janko, is, you know, what the idea of the coaches are doing at this moment in time. You know, you got XTQZZ on one side, and then you're looking at Threat and Nip. So I'm wondering what it is you think that they're, you know, possibly bringing to the table here.
I think for Vitality, it's probably just reminding the players, hey, let's like pay a little bit more attention to these second rounds, right? Like in both halves, it was a little bit of a misplay, a little bit of just players losing focus. Like let's stay focused here and get the job done. And I also think, you know, for him, probably trying to bring back, you know, MAGA slogan really, which is make Apex great again. Like he did so great on Nuke, being put in a star position, right, on Overpass, not as much so, and there was a completely 180 really in terms of his own individual performance. So put Apex in more star roles, let's see if he can deliver.
I mean, he's hitting the shots. Like, if there's someone to take strides right now, it is Apex.
Well, he looked good in the first map. This map, 8 and 20, I believe he finished on. So, yeah, very quiet performance heading into Overpass. And there's a lot of space you could play with there on Overpass. But Apex, obviously not in the right spots for it. Or if it was, he was just getting outdueled by NIP, who have stepped up. And I think a player you look at on the opposite side of things who has had quiet games in this competition is Linus. On Overpass, it seems to be a very comfortable map for him. He's always finding impact for NIP. Throughout this competition, Linus has been able to pick up impact, maybe not at the top of the scoreboard and fragging, but he finds those crucial, important kills, and he's put in a position there's a lot of responsibility in.
And Vitality probably going to low-key be kicking themselves for this loss, because you look at that second half, what did NIP really do? A couple of B pops, right? Exactly. Like, you know, the B executes with low utility and pistols. That's, I mean, the most go-to thing you can do. And the fact that they just straight up lose that round. And, you know, a couple of just straight immediate entry kills, Device on mid, res on Apex, jumping sandbags. That's it. Game half over, you lost.
So, you know, no one's technically lost yet, so to say. So with Inferno on the cards in front of us, a knife round to determine sides, where are we going to go with this one, regardless of who starts where?
Well, I think it should be Vitality taking Inferno. I think we've seen some weaknesses for NIP in the previous game. They played against Movistar Riders in this map. They didn't really deal too well with those simple pops into the side, simple executes. I think NIP were kind of struggling a lot with that. And for Vitality, it's a map they're extremely comfortable on. I feel heading into this final map, I just feel like Vitality won't have back-to-back performances like that. I don't think you can expect the same drop-off from these individual 2 maps in a row. And I think Inferno is just going to be one of those maps that's very hard to disrupt and really try and fight early the way NIP were doing. They were fighting that map control very early on, but Inferno is just going to be much more stable, much more structured, and we see teams struggle in that environment.
Yeah, I think they had a problem with just going for blind stacks and blind gambles against Movistar Riders too much, and we saw a couple of those just, you know, late B fake, go A, and, you know, had 4v2 situations really for Movistar Riders. So I think for NIP, they were aware of that. Hampus said post-game really, and you want to see a change in mentality for NIP. Any team that wants to be the best in the world and be a contender for titles, you have to, you know, be the aggressor, so to speak, and be the one dictating the pace of the game, right? It's always going to be easier for you to react when you're making the play. You know where you're strong, you know where you're weak, you know what the timings are. So NIP, less blind stacks and more information plays, right? So that's what allows your players to rotate, use utility. We see if they maybe have added a couple of tricks of their own in terms of utility on Inferno. That's the map where we see that happened the most so far.
So if I remember right, it's like the best defense is offense sometimes, which is exactly, I think, what Janko was trying to paint. And as well for us, we're going to paint us into a break. We got to come back. We get a decider, an Inferno map here between NiP and Vitality in a semi-final bout. One of these teams going on to the grand final, the conclusion of it. That much we know for sure. We're going to a break. We'll be RB.
Yes, nice shot, my friend.
Cheaters ruining your plays?
I have eyes on the enemy.
Bad servers stopping your shots? What you need is ESEA. Advanced anti-cheat to stop cheaters. And the best servers around, all with 128 tick rate. ESEA, the best way to play CSGO.
Choose nades, choose a smoke, choose a flashbang. Choose team badges to support your favourite CSGO team. Choose an ESEA Premium membership. Choose routes you know bring in wins. Choose pro video tips. Choose the fan club wars. Choose behind the scenes content. Choose good grades. Choose guns you know you can shoot right. Choose bingo. Choose the equipment you know is going to get your team the win thanks to heat maps. Choose the CSGO Hub Premium, the complete package to help you and your squad achieve all your CSGO goals.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Threat after map 2 overpass. Threat, firstly, what went wrong on Nuke?
So I think we went in with a really good game plan on Nuke, but I mean, CSGO happened, we lost the pistol rounds, we lost a few clutches, and we just blinked and it was 6-0. We started gaining some momentum, then Apex won that silly 1v3 with a C set on floor, and we really couldn't recover after that.
All right, and how did you and the guys bounce back on overpass?
We had a very serious conversation after the first map, sort of saw that we need to step up individually in both with the comms and aim, and I think we really did that on the second map.
Thank you very much. Best of luck in map number 3.
Thank you.
Thank you to Parla there, and talking to the coach. Threat, Vitality, NIP, map 3. And knives for sides required. Just spoke to Threat as well ahead of this one, talking about how both teams came in with win streaks on Inferno. Admittedly, that was recently crushed by a loss to, was it the Riders, I believe?
Sounds right. I think the desk were talking about that earlier as well.
Yeah. But yeah, domination stations for both of the teams. Very familiar territory. So I'll be intrigued to see how they interact. Intrigued to see whether we get another blink and you miss it start from Vitality. And Nuke still weighing heavy on our minds. Maybe not so much NIP after the serious team talk, as he discussed. They did come in firing on all cylinders, at least individually, and it converted. So overpass, both teams losing their map picks. Find ourselves on the decider for the semi-final, the first of Intel Extreme Masters EU RMR.
NIP did win the knife round there. Came down to the wire. Rez getting the final kill. They've decided to start here on that CT side. Speaking of Rez, he's got those Julies in his hands with the armor as well. Plopsky into the CZ75 and just making sure they get all those goodies from spawn there. Vitality. P250s, 2 of which, bit of util as well, smokes and flashes, and peppering up mid is Apex.
This is the first time I haven't seen the Julies at the half wall. He's taken them 2 apps.
If they waterfall out, and currently they're starting to work over in that direction here, Vitality, that wouldn't be too bad for the job. 3 up through the apartments, Kyojin and Apex. With that utility, we'll be throwing it from downtown. Apex in the chicken pit, Kyojin behind the barrels in middle. And those smokes they can lob out here, one towards the moto position and one looking like it's going to go on the balcony. Flashes over, and here's the Julies activated.
Oh yeah, already drawing blood. Masuta forced to watch as the pistol unfolds. zywoo's hunting him down and has converted on the reload. Oh, LNZ, a slip up. Only one now to defend the site, and he's been deleted. zywoo is activated. And the bomb is planted. Got a retake smoke here. Plopsky might be able to isolate the pit players. zywoo might be unable to contribute here.
They're sitting on the kit in pit, so this is looking pretty impossible right now for NIP.
Yeah, well, the first is there. Plopsky would need the second in quick fashion. Kyojin duking it out with Plopsky, and it looks like the graveyard walk from Hampus has been cancelled. zywoo will make it 3. And the French take the pistol.
A couple of crispy ones there, so we're getting back underway with where we kick things off on Nuke. And I think we might even get the fire back in the belly, right? When things weren't going so well on an overpass there, the French were a little bit more quiet. This time around, they're trying to make some noise about things. And the Julie's really not really getting a start here. It was actually Linus from the pit, LNZ, getting that opener right there. And Rez found out, Hunter down the force by in. And round number 2 is where I think the action, where we really, in the early game, oh, look at that, a couple of HEs. Looks like 3 of which have been left over here for Hampus to continue to dunk towards middle.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? Often you have T's gathered, waiting for contact. Oh, he's
trying him out early.
Very early with that.
Hampus.
Oh. Well, Rez has got alternate plans. You don't need nades when you've got a D like that.
What just happened?
Yeah, I don't know. Blink and you will miss it. Rez has shot 2 heads, and it might even be another here as the Plopsky CZ connects. Vitality just falling by the wayside. It's only zywoo and Kyojin now.
We'll have the bomb for now.
Yeah, for now. Look at Revise. He's not going to let that go easy. He's taking a chunk and a Kyojin's health pool. LNZ's responsible for B.
I think with zywoo still alive, I'm believing in this one for Vitality. Kyojin being low, yeah, a bullet and he's down. But zywoo, if he can hit another couple of crispy shots here, we'll be able to get them in towards this B bomb site. A bunch of utility to work with. The float man of Hampus is over towards Arch, and he is starting to even backpedal further away. The gun swap just to give the AK to zywoo, and LNZ is pushing forward. That's a nice shot from him, and the second as well. Call this one done. What Rez started, LNZ will finish. End of the alphabet, end of the round.
Oops. LNZ there, I think he thought his teammate was closer behind him. He ended up actually discarding the AK in pursuit of that Galil. Will not necessarily have any real ramifications in this battle for early control. But yeah, what a shot out of Rez, 2 to be specific.
I wonder if they got baited in because the nades were coming from arch side, that they thought there was a stack arch side, and then Rez has swung out from short. You know, there's something that could be played in there. The mind games of this whole nade situation. Hampus sits zywoo down. Take a break, mate. It's a really quick opener right there for NIP to be getting here, and because it is up against the 4 spy, there's not a lot Vitality can do. They'd be hoping to at least wait out the early barrage of the CT utility. Oh. Well, a tag, but through the corner of the wall, not a lot of damage done whatsoever. Not even 20 points of health taken away from Plopsky there. It's going to be 17 on the nose as he tucks on in aggressively in Banana, still with LNZ close. Pedaling back and forth. Oh, from Peppered on through, they're going to run straight in. Plopsky's Mac 10. Good for 2. May as well call it 3. Now it's just 1 man remaining here. Shocks.
Lovely bit of room for him here. Gets to stretch his legs, get his cardio in, burn some calories. Maybe even burn through some of that CT economy if he can get a couple of kills going here. Spotted out and does adjust in time. Rez just slipping up on the banana skin.
I think he wants to hold on to this. Now, this isn't going to have huge issues right now unless they chase him and take it after time. So before I start talking about the next round, let's just see how this one concludes here, because they know that he has to be over towards A, right? The best he could have done is slipped over towards Library, and oh, Hampus.
I'm surprised he's so actively searching.
Yeah, he thought about it for a second there, but has dipped on back, so no more damage inflicted. But the problems that this is going to have with the saved M4 is not immediately into the next. It's going to come in the following gun round, where Shocks won't be getting the same amount of loss as everybody else, right? So with this M4 right now, you're going to need to make sure you get something from it, and that was actually fantastic from Hampus there. We caught it on the replay. A nice little shot there to open up the account. They need to make sure that Shocks is keeping this one with a kill or 2. Getting into a bomb site and getting the bomb down would be fantastic. That might get rid of those financial woes that we were talking about there. And some more nades left in towards spawn. So we're going to be seeing more and more of that. I suspect we're going to see it very well refined by the time we get to the major. This is our first foray into this update. Seems like a big tournament to have that happen, but it's been great to see some different levels of creativity shown by these teams. And here we go, scooping them up. Hampus back on through spawn, grabs a couple of extra nades. zywoo takes one. 25 points of health remaining now, and it is slow. Very, very slow here. At least it wasn't the opener out the gates here. But Shocks, the man we need to keep our eyes on. The head armor, the M4.
Well, that M4 could do damage here. Confirmation of Hampus's position. 3-man setup on A. Pulling out the nades, and I mean, this is just kind of like a glamorous rot of that utility with the addition of Shocks' M4. They are a little more threatening. Well, they were past 10 at this point. Still have that weapon equipped, but a flub smoke. Apex just about with his tail between his legs has escaped. And Hampus looking for style points, trying to finish it off with the dig, and he can't quite get it across the line. So now there's another M4. Masuta is going to surely struggle to hold on to this one. He's right there in the arch. There's so many members of NIP hunting him down, and it will be Plopsky's frag all day of the week. 3-1 NIP, despite the lost pistol bouncing back and converting. So they're up to are no good.
If you think about the last map as well, Vitality picked up the 2 pistols there, right? They picked up the 2 pistols, then they lost the 4 spies. So the same thing's happened here to them, unfortunately. They're good at getting the pistol rounds, but not great at getting the conversions, and that really was a problem for them on overpass. It might come back to haunt them here, because that issue with the loss bonus, you can see it immediately reflected in Shox' buy. It is just going to be a tech 9. Does have a bag of util with this, but what's the call going to be? 3 up second mid. 1 man of zywoo to deal with Banana, and normally great in this position. Lots of mollies. Will have to extinguish to keep himself alive, so playing fireman here. Maybe that's what he wanted to be when he grew up. But again, the slow crawl. No risks being taken, no early aggression.
Yeah, I mean, from one side, sure. Plopsky, on the other hand, his aggressions have been cut down. Device set up in the apps. Oh, he gets 2 with the 1 bullet. Finish it off with the nade. Masuta evades. He lives on. And back to B. Device, I think, might be thinking about the same thing. He's smoked off on long, so might be locked to that, at least until he can confirm there's nothing top mid. His B players don't look too threatened right now, at least not feeling it. They'll hear some sound cues, and that's enough to drop a smoke of their road.
Out of util, they have to go.
Here they come. And Apex are sitting duck.
It's looking easy now, isn't it?
See with the pluck, and yeah, only 2 bodies left for the Vitality squad. Good luck, have fun. Shox and Masuta, nadeless. Giving it everything they can. Linus smokes so much power in it, looking the wrong way. It's something back for Vitality. Newbox will provide some cover.
Happy with the plant here, especially where the loss bonus is right now. So something out of nothing right now for the French.
There could be more. Oh, that might spread. Masuta peeking out, burnt to a crisp. Only Shox on the coffins. Tracks res, but no health for this. The clock's his best friend, and they're just going to close the gap, and he has 2. Catches Device and another Hampus Ninja. Surely not.
It every time.
Surely not. Surely not. 3 for 3 in the 1v1s from NIP, and it's all thanks to the pros don't fake. Holding it every time, holding their nerve. Vitality have come close. But again, just holding that one. No fake so far from them.
That's crazy. Every single time they just seem to sit these diffusers right here. Not wanting to play the game against Vitality, just wanting to get the objective done and ushered on in. 4-1. Now that plant, it was important because that's allowed another buy for Vitality. And considering how close that round was, maybe, just maybe, with this one here, they can start working on some rounds. Peeking on in, Device.
Shox knew he had a bit more of a window to commit to the spray, given the missed orb shot. Good maneuver from zywoo initially, but it results in his demise. And again, NIP, they are looking very rigid on this defense. There's not many opportunities for Vitality's individuals to just make a play and make some space.
Yeah, they're not getting that space right now. At least middle was on the docket. Molly off the skybox there. That's going to burn out towards Porch. So indicating that they want to head towards this A side, but NIP, they're not deterred. Still 3 players parked in Banana. If it is the A play, they'll be quick up behind. Apex having a look in and sees nothing, but as he pushes, he's going to find everything. They step on out. Another player falls, and a 5v3.
Stark contrast to that start of this series. NIP just heating up with every passing round. Rez delivers. And Shox is his last victim. Perfection.
Threat's getting loud for the boys. They're keeping their calm over there.
Look at the good vibrations.
Yeah, this is where Xtaz is going to chip on in. Now, after they took timeouts in that first map, second map on Overpass, and Xtaz chipped in, they were actually able to get some rounds going here. It might just have to be a half buy here from Vitality. There's 2 names who look good for a buy. That's Kyojin and Shox. The other 3 could get Galils if they really want, and that's what this timeout's going to be about. What's the discussion going to be? Max loss bonus is in play, so 3,400 in the next round. And if they all buy around to that point so that they can make sure that they get a gun round and keep this one with something respectable, that'll be the double dip as far as the money is concerned. But starting to get away from the French now. We've seen teams be able to bounce back from scorelines much worse than this, so don't worry just yet. NIP, they're carrying that momentum through, and well, it's 3 players B again. Res and Device. That's 2 names you'd be happy to have locked down A, I think.
Yeah, I think you can count on them. Again, with early, deep banana smoke. It just means Vitality would have to invest heavy util if they did want that space. Speaking of util, more scooped up. Hampus on the rotate gets an extra incendiary and flash.
I feel at some point it might have to change a gear here for Vitality, especially if NIP keep finding opening kills and then they're just trading out efficiently. Or not even trading, right? Just being offered up individual fights. And it's stalled out again. We've just had another 45 seconds quickly blow by. NIP happy just to sit in actually quite a defensive stance here. No info on Banana. They don't have any info on mid right now. They just had some. There was the jiggle from Hampus over towards the arch side. But again, this is really interesting to see that Vitality are happy just to play so far back. Now, I know they're not operating with full rifles. They can't take the fights as fairly as they'd hope. But with all that info that NIP have had, they've actually been able to hedge their bets with a 3-man B stack. You got Plopsky on the boost. You got Hampus baiting with shots through the smoke. And then you still have LNZ back at the site with a molly here. 30 seconds. It will be this B finish. Everybody from Vitality ready to run on in.
Yeah, that's going to be the incendiary as well, but it's ahead of it in the pool is masuta. Eliminated now, problems. zywoo's the only one with the rifle and the only one in the feed for Vitality. It's 2 from him. Bomb cancelled thanks to the swing. Can't keep control of the weapon, only shocks. And it's unlikely he even gets this bomb down.
They should push when they hit planning.
Surely going to close that gap. He anticipates that and looking to take another head. Okay, gets costly. Swede's happy with that. 6 in the bank. Very early, strong start from NIP.
You have to like that, though, from Vitality still. I know that it's not a round, but again, they just had leveled out their cash. They kept it as an expensive round. They took 4 players away. More brilliance here from zywoo on the way on. In and, well, Plant, that would have been the cherry on top of this one right here. Rez does save the day, but they make sure that NIP stay humble. Right, there's a threat ever pressing around the corner there. Shocks into the T side at AWP. It won't be zywoo here, and a pot shot taken as the mid-cross. Hampus thought that would have been a little bit freer there. Apex after the blistering, that one has definitely cooled off here and would have loved an opening. LNZ strafes out. It's looking too easy now.
Well, they know where Device is. Force the shot out of him with the flash. Rejigging it.
Actually re-aggressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick all the way down.
Shocks holding this one. That's some confidence for Dev. It's been silenced.
Curious to see if they gamble one of the sites here, right? Hampus is over towards the B bomb site right now. He still has a smoke and a molly. Utility to lock down that B site if they do want to return there. But Vitality, again, this time, they've come out on top of the early exchanges. But it's more of this slower pace. And as the time ticks on down, it is a mid-crossfire. This could be the blender if they run on in. A bit cavalier. Out of the boiler, up mid they go, and they are walking into this crossfire.
Okay, Plopsky and Rez looking to lock it down, and Wasuted already took 1 scalp, and that will be it. Vitality in hot pursuit of their second.
Now Hampus, he knows what's been going on with the cash money situation, so looking to save. He'll have to be dropping a gun across to Plopsky in the next round. Everybody else is going to have plenty. 1,400 as the loss bonus here. What's he thinking about? I thought you'd be loving a save right now.
Is he giving it a look?
I don't know. It seems really risky to do so. Halfway ticked. Hampus is cheeky. He's very, very cheeky and maybe just damage. He does have that molly he can drop back of pit to try and deny these rifles.
Oh, there's one. zywoo. And that was what he was looking for, I suppose. Gets away with the AK and an extra frag for good measure.
Okay, so both teams being very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not stingy. That's not the one. The opposite.
Conservative? Oh, I'm pretty cracking today. I think those series yesterday. Taking some of the beans away from me.
There's obviously not as much on the line here today. Obviously, for Vitality, they're still fighting for that legend status, which for them obviously means the world. For NIP, they've already secured that based off the fact the way the games have gone. But obviously, if you joined us last night for that ENCE versus G2 game, there was so much on the line there. Had a different feel to it.
zywoo, this is actually an operational gap. He can find an opportunity. The nade looks right on the money. in between the wickets. He's trying to do it on his own. All the util and the fights being taken by zywoo. Counter util from NIP looks good, and the info gathered. Plopsky looking to stand and fight and deliver. Opener again found for the ninjas, and now they can just turtle up into the site, tuck their head into their shell.
Pick up the supply drops as well, so maybe there's a nade that was meant to be around here that's rolled away. That's one of the issues with the HEs, right? You get the mollies, the nades, they do get a little bit roly-poly. He has the smoke, so he can lock the door here. It's very, very shallow, though.
Yeah, but it's a bit suspicious. You don't know if they're playing over in that pool position on the edge of the smoke. It's some juggled weapons. He gets the Apex rock in the AWP. Don't get to see this one too often. Maybe he can forge a path into the ace site, because the three-man setup, NIP are playing textbook Counter-Strike right now.
He's had plenty of practice on the scout, so that might be enough. Doesn't move as quick, though. Won't be as zippy around those corners. Shock's just keeping them there, planted towards the B site. So the two players of LNZ and Plopsky should not be moving here as we turn our attention back towards A. Moto smoke, arch side molly, and away they go.
Counter flash is good. Device deals with apps, and Masuta trying to do something. Only Apex putting his name in the feed. NIP locking it down again.
Looking great on this one now, 7-2. And I was talking earlier how the scoreline can quickly snap shut. But it's not feeling that way. This is a bit limp, and I think the scores help reflect that. We've got 8 for Shock, 7 for zywoo, 3 apiece for Apex and Masuta, and only 1 kill for Kyojin here. So really need to see an individual or two stepping up now to help Vitality get back into this game. Everyone loves a bit of help sometimes. And yeah, they're scratching their heads right now. Second timeout called. Looking into the 10th round of play, it is going to be another half investment here. Have funds in the chat once more, and let's see, is this going to be the change of pace that I was talking about?
I got the Vitality securing legend spots.
Conditions.
Conditions, thank you, that's the word. They need to place top 3, Astralis plays top 2, or G2 plays top 6 at best. All of those still up for debate.
Plopsky doing the juggling act now. We've been watching more and more players doing this. And to varying success, right? Some players are just throwing out the nades and they're not finding any damage. Some are throwing them out and they're finding huge chunks. So it's going to be interesting to continue to monitor this. Banana control. Well, it's given. And I think they're trying to go mid to B here, you know?
Looks like it, yeah. I mean, Device should have a real good angle for this. They're aware. So is he.
Standoff right now.
Ooh, and it doesn't quite hit the mark on the first, and now multiple targets towards spawn. Rez is actually going for a re-aggression through the arch. Their backs will be turned, trying to avoid Device, but they're not ready for Rez. And that's a great handling of the situation. No real threat.
None at all.
zywoo. Still one.
Like, none at all. Like, they're lacking, like, the bloodlust. Like, he's pinned in library. We're just waiting. We've only got the pistol. Somebody needs to get stuck in. Right? Somebody needs to start finding them these kills, because you get the space, that's one thing, but you need to find the frags. And that has so much time, right? NIP, they're taking a lot of space there. You can see Rez pushing around as well. They knew exactly what type of hit that they were dealing with. And I'm hearing more shouts over from that room. Movistar Riders versus Copenhagen Flames, map number 2, the Riders. 14-5 the scoreline reads right now. So the Movistar Riders are just 2 rounds away from securing themselves a spot in the major. Spaniards watching right now. I'm sure there's going to be a massive celebration. Their storyline's pretty crazy considering they've only recently just changed roster.
Yeah, and in a large way. Returning to communicating in their native tongue. It's Gangster, and Plopsky is too. Look at his position. zywoo, I think he's been booked here. Yeah, completely. No room for Vitality at the inn.
This is just looking shaky for the French right now. Oh, straight through the smoke. getting worse, isn't it? And we've had so many rounds that have commenced like this, that have kicked off like this, where they lose an opening kill, or maybe they cop a bit of damage here. They're not getting the space that they're working for. They're being denied, and NIP are getting away with it. They're not even. It doesn't feel like they're even having to work too hard, because you notice that Vitality aren't pushing the issue with anything crazy. How many other players other than zywoo have you seen in Banana early? Apex tried it once. zywoo's tried it a couple of times, but there's no gusto to this.
Yeah, it's such a stark contrast. Almost like two different teams from that first map, and the screams and the guffaws.
Remember, like NIP, there's no pressure on them. They've already got this legend status. They might be playing a little bit freer here, and Hampus' push, straight in.
Yeah, he just goes for the blood, and it's done. I mean, what, two versus 4? Device tucked on the site. Rez is in a power position and knocks the head out of Kyojin. 9-2. Look at them go. All smiles, ear to ear, as this is not only a one-half chat, it's just a question of by how much.
I don't know if they can stop them right now, especially with this pace. I thought when the Tech 9s came out earlier that would be the gear shift, but it hasn't. Still feels like we're in second gear right now. Need to shift up, because these reactions from Apex are the ones that you should come familiar with when things aren't working. It's not the yelling, it's not the getting hyped on up, it's just frustration, and wow, you can understand it, and that's going to be the third time out called now. Might not have any left for the second half here, considering the way things are going. Now, money is there. The AK's purchased on in, and if you have a pocket strap, if you have anything that you've been working on, anything that you've been trying to save, if you want to continue your hopes and dreams here within this event, as far as the upper bracket goes, as far as that grand final, which is tomorrow, goes, this would be the time to pull it on out. Oh, here we go again. After the third time out, do we have a change of conversation, or is it just going to be one-way traffic for the Swedes here, who are looking, well, unstoppable right now? Deep mid smoke, 2 towards A, 3 towards B. Standard stuff. I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing outside of the textbook here, other than a couple of cheeky nade drops. That's the only difference.
Okay, well, you wanted some pace, you wanted some team play, and, well, Vitality are throwing a quick one towards A here. The reactive util seems good. Oh, and another one from straight through the smoke. LNZ again delivers them a first blood.
He's got the goggles on right now. Seems to be finding them no matter where they are. Well, they've been sold out immediately. After that, Alex, after they've been denied, they have 1 smoke and 4 flashes left. And over a minute to operate with.
And it's felt like Banana's been closed, like closed for business. They are going to have another go.
Oh, come on, Hampus. Be nice to them now.
Yeah, they are.
You're bullying them.
Yeah, but this isn't like the same kind of quote-unquote disrespectful CT aggression as it is just very, very well-timed, choreographed and coordinated team maneuvers. The individuals as well hitting their shots. That's a miss from Device, and he's been punished for it. But look at the aggression out of Hampus. Maybe I need to eat my words, because that is cheeky.
Yeah, Device was dying to just bait them in, because Hampus wants them all. That's 4 for him. 14 kills now, and well, sailing to this grand final. And you know the storyline that we can set up on the other side of things. Sure, for the French, we're talking about the fact that, yeah, okay, they want to fight for that legend status. Well, we would love to see Device taking on Astralis. He left the team earlier in the year. He made this blockbuster move, one that blew everybody away. I don't think any of us saw this coming at all. Away from Astralis over to NIP.
Big battle on Banana here. Util's been great from the Ninjas. And it looking even better again from LNZ. Damage and then some. Plopsky with the 2. Nothing left for Kyojin, really. Even his teammates just been eliminated, and he takes the fight. Rez will collect 11 already. NIP sailing, smooth sailing. There isn't a single turbulent sea.
It was the pistol round that they lost, right? That they won. Sorry, they won the pistol round, and they've only won 1 other round since then. That's it. That's all they've really been able to muster. That's absolutely wild here. Great showing from the Swedes. Running with that momentum of map number 2. And at this point, you can see them getting to 13. It wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility by any means. Deep nades down again, always softening them up. Vitality limping out of the rounds here with either a body or damage. There you go. That's the rolling. Yeah.
And that's another opener, as if NIP.
Another one.
Oh my god. Absolutely battered. He's ahead of the smoke. Plopsky's on the boost though, so as he puts his bottom on the line, he's down. I'll give you something, Chad, that NIP, if they convert this one, it won't be that dangerous scoreline.
Bottom on the barrel again here.
Oh, Device knows there's another one to be found. I'm sure he's tempted to re-peek, but the whole squad are. Look at them, charging, lusting for it to finish this one quick. NIP 12, Vitality 2.
It's so measured, right? They know when to go aggressive, and they're not really getting out of control of things here. They're sticking with it.
Movistar Riders were getting loud there, or was it the Flames?
I'm just having a little bit of a look. Scoreline 15-8 right now. Deaths with 2 big kills. Maybe, just maybe, that one is coming to its conclusion.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot of yelling, so maybe it is over. We'll be there in a moment. We're just catching on up. But that is massive, right? That's a massive result right there. And almost a massive result here. Final round of play, the opener again. It's just been the same and same again. Haven't been able to get anything going here, the French. Just absolutely nothing at all. You'd love one round just to believe that you can actually get the 5 kills necessary to win a round here, but another 5-on-3. I couldn't count on one hand, I don't think, how many rounds have been like this for Vitality.
Confirmed, there's action coming. Something from Misuta. zywoo as well. So what was a 5v2 now becoming just a little more realistic.
Tice is pushing again here. Yeah. They do not care at all. They don't care at all.
They're not going to be expecting this.
He's just going to peek down mid here.
Calls it clear.
Maybe even with the AWP. Oh, come on, you weren't even aiming at him.
Yeah,
you're just pre-firing.
Style points, and zywoo's his next victim. 13. Vitality got very little to show for that, and Inferno on lock. We'll be right back to see if Vitality got anything more to show, or if NIP going to speedrun their way to that grand final.
Best of one. Everything can happen.
Everyone can beat everyone.
Yeah. Plus in a stressful environment, so you got like all the resources to do a banger with every matches. So I don't know. Talking about us, we just want to play as the best level as we can show.
We don't care about enemies, like we
we are here for win.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
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 yes.
Oui, 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 mon ami.
Hey Future Pros, back to Inferno today with a pretty useful Molotov. This molly will force back an AWP playing close to porch. To execute this, use your KZ skills to get onto the corner of this railing. Aim below the wooden rafter and at the bottom of the cracked paint on the wall. Then jump and throw. This will force any AWP playing porch side to move back onto the site. Or play more aggressive, so watch out for that too. Good luck!
NIP have come in, all guns are blazing, just windmilling their fists through the French, and very little signs of life, if you'll pardon the pun, from Vitality.
Yeah, one player up to the double digits, that is zywoo. The rest of them all very, very quiet. Actually, everybody quiet. 10 kills, 2 rounds, it doesn't even really matter. 8 for Shox, suited with 6, 3 for Apex, 2 for Kyojin. Not being able to convert that pistol round, I made a remark early that maybe it would come back to haunt them like on Overpass. Well, it definitely has, and even more so. This would be some comeback right now, and it doesn't feel possible whatsoever.
And take a look at the kill spread. Not only have you got like 4 of them within a couple of kills of each other, but also LNZ, who is just lagging behind at 10, was the one that was finding them 4 to 5 back-to-back openers towards the tail end of that first half. 13 already in the bank account, Chad. They are in hot pursuit of that pistol. If they do pick it up, you may as well stick a fork in this one.
Shox with a warning shot. I'm liking the Counter-Strike NIP are playing here. It's tempered. They know when to go for the aggression, which is that knockout blow, and they also have been doing their strats. Now this one, we've seen it once. We're going to see it again. So they're going to waterfall out apartments here with the flashes of Device.
I'm intrigued to know if it catches Graveyard. Like, if he's not looking at the floor, there shouldn't be a way. It catches, and actually Hampus has caught Shox. Kyojin just
ahead
the one,
of the flashes.
Well ahead of the flashes, and now, surely, there's something to be said about this. zywoo and Apex.
They have to go for this, right? If you imagine wanting to save what you have right now on the pistol round and then having to go up against a 14-2 scoreline.
Yeah, you have to give it everything it's got, and re-smoke on the library position. Outlook gets even worse. A tasty gap, sure. No contact on that mini pit. Apex thinks better of it, waits for the info, but look from behind, zywoo is in trouble. 2 players bearing down on his location. The nade damage was good, but there's nothing more. Nothing more to be said. This is going to be a very dominant finish from NIP. And Vitality, it all hinges now on what little they can invest into our 17.
Yeah, this is such a rough place to be, right? It's eco, allow the 15th, and then have to get 13 of your own in a row, or it's go for a force buy, and you're talking Deagles, CZ for Apex here. He's not going to go for his signature scout. Shox likes to go for this MP9 on the force buys, so they could at least put up a fight here, but that would be the only point of resistance, because next round it's going to be a buy that looks very similar to this. Exchanging weapons, Rez with the AK, there's 3 MAC-10s, Hampus into the Galil, and if they continue to play the type of Counter-Strike they have been, NIP, they should win this one. Shox gives up his position, and he's going to get run down.
Completely overrun.
17 for Rez now. Kyojin with a defensive smoke. The rotation of all 3 from B is coming, but they have to deal with Hampus.
Deep volley. Looking to fight. Kyojin took on the pit, the hay bale's position. Could catch him. Nice from Device, he contributes, but still, Vitality, they're kicking. A miss from Masuta does adjust. His Deek's doing it all for the French. Not only, it brings it into 1v1. Hampus is there to solve the riddle. Damn, got close there, and Masuta's been a little bit of a shining light for Vitality, even in the face of a brutal loss. Saw him pull them up in that overpass game.
Cool to see Threat being so loud, right? He's been the vocal element of the team here. The rest of them are kind of just focusing. And we always talk about that element of the coaches, right? Being a fire-up factor as well as obviously being the tactical minds. The player, the individual to keep you level-headed, contribute when the chips are down, bring the mood on up here. We're having the coach yelling behind you with the war cries after such a good map. 2 great maps in a row here for the Swedes, and just 5 more kills away from getting this first series done, locking himself in for the grand final, and then they can sit and watch ENCE versus Astralis coming up next.
Pop flash in, and 4 more to go. Make it 3. Hampus just counting down to the grand final. 3 bodies remain from Vitality, and even LNZ could work on a fast flank here if he hears them rotate. May not be necessary, because they're just pushing for it. Look at where Hampus is. And it is going to conclude 16-2.
What an absolute showing from NIP here. Locked himself in for the grand final, the first team to do so. And those 2 back-to-back maps, you forget about Nuke, you forget about that Apex performance on the CT side, and, well, they look kind of happy with that. Way to lock themselves in. We talk about teams needing to peak at the right times, needing to step themselves up, and, well, we know the major's just around the corner here. NIP is starting to look really, really hot.
You know what the players have been saying, right, about that major? It's about finding that peak as a team, as an individual, and finding that peak at the right time. Well, you know what, Chad? It is only just a few days away at this point. What is it, 17?
17, I do believe, so really just around the corner. 2 weeks, just over. And what has been 2 long years couldn't come soon enough. Good to see the players getting a bit of interaction here. And, well, Vitality, they've had a good tournament. They'll still get the playoff in that decided for 3rd or 4th spot. But NIP in for that grand final and looking hot.
Absolutely. Astralis ENCE is on its way. We'll be taking a look at some Epic's picks, and we'll be getting this one party started over at the analyst desk after a break.
Nice, GG les gars.
Nice. Nice.
Nice. Sitta där.
Nice.
Nice. Yep. Nice! Såja!
Bra.
Fett bra!
Nice för det.
Nice! Ah, dommage. Let's go.
Vigi. Side.
Bra. Fett bra. Såja! Nice!
Boys, alla kan. Kom igen lagom. Nice. Fett bra.
Nice! Fett bra.
Bra
runda boys. Nice! Fett bra.
Nice boys.
Sexy. Sista...
Jag hejdar.
Nice!